Putilov in blue, the German boxer, won gold here at the championships held here in January, so familiar surroundings for him, and he's got a significant height and reach advantage. He looks huge in comparison to the Italian Lenzi in red.
Yeah,
almost look like different weight categories.
It does, but he's a live opponent.
Falls really quiet in here, as can sometimes be the case. People are just absorbed in the action, but I'm sure once it catches fire.
The Italian was in Paris at the games with me. I believe he beat the American and then lost in his might have been his quarter-final bout, but very dangerous, very strong. But yeah, I've seen the German box as well, and he's fantastic to watch. Only young as well, but very athletic, very strong.
I thought that coming into this one, just really difficult to call because they both have different attributes, and goodness me, just seeing that backhand powering through, rocking back the head of Putilov, and that is exactly what Lewis was talking about, that real firepower, and he covered that distance very quickly to get that backhand off, didn't he?
Yeah, really impressive.
Nice and relaxed style in between, isn't he? As he just applies that front foot pressure, just gradually edging his way in, looking for the openings. And Putilov's got to be switched on to the power that Lenzi possesses, because that was an early indication of what he has in his locker. Is he just trying to flick out that jab, Putilov? He's got to be careful, Lewis, hasn't he, when he finds himself backed up to the ropes.
Yeah,
can't just leave his chin in the air like that.
Yeah, give yourself space at all times to move back and around.
And if he is going to be against the ropes, he's got to tuck up, hasn't he? Can't leave his chin in the air.
Yeah. Easier said than done against a very strong Italian.
Absolutely. And this is where people often think automatically it's hugely advantageous to be the taller boxer with the longer reach, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, and even more so at super heavyweight, because obviously they can be different weights. You can be really short and compact, but super heavy and strong and explosive. So you can can sort of benefit even less in the super heavyweight division.
Can be very deceiving sometimes, can't they? Body types, and some boxers can have an awful lot of weight in the legs, which is where they can generate all that power in the shots, of course. He's really using it to his advantage, that lower position that he's coming from, Lenzi, isn't he? Just coming in low and throwing those shots over the top. And,
you know, the German is actually
lovely lead uppercut. That what a shot that was.
He's taken most of the shots on his gloves, but that was a lovely shot from the Italian.
Such a difficult shot to even see and recognise the opening for that, but to execute it, that was superb. And really worrying signs for Putilov here, because it looks like he's going to struggle to keep Lenzi off him, doesn't it? And I think he's just going to apply more and more pressure. Interesting though, one judge giving it to Putilov. Well, I am surprised at that, but there you go. Perhaps they liked his work on the outside. Very difficult to vote against Lenzi though, because as we can see here, if you had to put a wager on who would get a knockout here, it wouldn't be Putilov at the minute, would it? When Lenzi comes forward, he looks like he's gonna cause some problems.
Round 2.
So 4-1 up after that first round is the man in red, Diego Lenzi of Italy. Putilov, the German in blue, putting some good shots together there. That's better from him.
This looks so powerful, the Italian.
He really does, and once he comes at him, he's really struggling to keep him off, isn't he? You feel like with that jab, Lewis, Putilov's got to be more commanding with it.
Yeah.
It's got to, in the very least, give Lenzi something to think about,
Yeah,
or put him off
definitely.
his stride.
Yeah.
Even if it's not going to, you know, it's not something he's going to feel like a ramrod, feel it down to his boots. It's got to at least take him out of his rhythm a little bit. Just mocking those shots there, Lenzi from Putilov, and as I say, he's got to be more commanding with those shots. Certainly can't afford to fall short.
No, definitely not.
We just saw that again, 3 or 4 shots in succession, not even landed, and that's allowed Lenzi to just come powering forward, loading up with those big shots. He's done well to take these though, Putilov, because some of these have been really heavy.
He's a strong guy, a really good fighter himself. Just needs to get the back off the ropes here. Don't want to find himself here.
Multiple instructions being given at ringside in different languages as well, Lewis, so that's really difficult to compute in your brain while you're trying to box. A quick switch of the stance from Lenzi, but went back to orthodox fairly quickly. What would you be advising? Oh, goodness me. Just going to ask the question of what you'd advise Putilov to do, but I think that was a massive shot. It was literally swept him off his feet, that, didn't it? And yeah, I was about to ask what you think he should do differently, but I think obviously now we're going to take a look at that shot. Yeah, I think it was just too obvious to need to even ask that question then, because that's what we've just been talking about though, haven't we? There it was again, that pouring shot, and that's what we've just been talking about, that he can't afford to fall short. It's a bit of a bow and arrow scenario, that, isn't it, where his backhand's just coming down and he just left himself wide open.
Really nice.
He's got to establish that jab if he's going to use it. It's got to be purposeful and meaningful, and as we saw there, by falling short and just throwing it and hitting thin air, left himself exposed and vulnerable, and Lenzi took advantage of that. And of course, up on all the judges' scorecards at the end of that second round, taking every single second here. Putilov in the corner, finally on his feet, and he's going to have to really be careful in this third round, Lewis.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take any damage here.
That's better with the jab, isn't it? Yeah, properly committing with it.
Shots.
And that way at least he doesn't allow Lenzi just to saunter forward and lay into him. So that was better from Putilov, but he's going to have to maintain that throughout the entire round. This is better, stepping in and committing with his shots. Still got to stay switched on defensively though. Just leaves himself wide open at times, Lewis, doesn't he?
Yeah, just you know, that right hand, especially for the dangerous Italian's left hook. So yeah, oh, nearly well dodged.
But again, that was just almost like a little switch off, because he'd been so focused and intense, and then just threw a random backhand and left himself open. Got to be more calculated when he launches his attacks. This is much better from Putilov in this round. He's stepping in behind that jab, committing with his shots, And Lenzi not been able to put his shots together as effectively. This is good from the German in blue. Really investing everything he can into these
and it's good to
shots,
see, you know,
Putilov.
it shows that he's got a big heart. He's got a massive future ahead of him. He's a good fighter. I've seen him before over the last year or so, and
Bags of potential,
just Italian. He just outmanned him a little bit, you know, showed his age, his experience. Obviously got that Olympic status as well.
Looks tired though, Lenzi, doesn't he?
Yeah, put a lot into the first 2 rounds.
Exactly.
And being a big guy like himself, I'm sure that lactic acid will build up.
A lot of oxygen needed for those muscles, aren't there? Got some biceps on him, that's for sure. Final stages, and Putilov, big credit to him because he's really
especially after
put a
taking
good
a big
round
shot
together.
at the end of the second.
Great recovery that, and showing real champion's mentality to cope with that, and then come back with a 3rd round like that. I thought it was impressive from Putilov because that was a big shot that he shipped on top of the ones that he took in the 1st round, and you know, he rallied there, didn't he, and put a really good 3rd round together. Yeah,
good performance from both for sure.
Tucking up better there as well, with his hands just in that position, just cupping the sides of his head so he wasn't quite as vulnerable as he was in the 1st round. But there we see, exposed there, of course. And Lenzi will do that. Some of the shots he's landed has been superb.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
in this contest. Let's get the result.
68. After 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards where your officials at ringside scored a unanimous decision victory in favour of your winner. And boxing out of the red corner, representing Italy, Diego Lenzi.
So good performance from Diego Lenzi. Made a good account of himself, the German Putilov, but ultimately through to the final now. So that will be Italy's Diego Lenzi and